Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out, let's talk about Britain's seagull problem.
There's a public menace in British society that we need to talk about. It's loud, opportunistic, an invasive species, and it's scared everyone from small children to grown men. It's been caught on camera snatching ice cream cones from unsuspecting tourists, raiding bins with the precision of a very seasoned thief, and in some unfortunate situations, launching full-on aerial assaults that have left its victims cut, bruised, and traumatized.
That's a person. Ow! Ow!
Keeping them covered because the
Hey, careful your phone, Maggie. Don't touch your fingers.
Comes another seagull.
Oh, watch out, watch out! Yeah, you got it.
The culprit, this guy. Don't be fooled by his cuteness. He will wake you up at 4 a.m. screeching his head off. He'll steal your chips if you so much as glance away, and he has no problem staring you down while he does it. He doesn't feel guilt. He has no shame. He is a seagull. But here's the thing. Seagulls aren't just seaside birds anymore. In recent decades, they've been moving inland, setting up permanent residence in towns and cities across the UK. There's nothing quite as disorienting as walking through central London and hearing their unmistakable cries. And you wonder momentarily whether you're in Margate or Marble Arch. But how did they get there? And more importantly, why? What started the Great Gull Migration in the UK, and what do they do for food when there's no fish and chips around?
Interesting. I would consider London by the sea. I guess it's not really. It's on a river. I kind of feel like when it comes to seagulls, the UK is a bunch of islands, so yeah, they're gonna love it, right? I guess they do usually stay by the shore. I'm just trying to... Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles if you didn't know, and I rarely see seagulls, but every once in a while I see them flying around, and I remember, oh yeah, I live by the ocean. I just don't go to the beach that much. But they're out there. They're out there. And I wouldn't think that Britain's seagull issue is bigger than anywhere else. Maybe it is. I didn't know that. I thought all seagulls were kind of jerks. Right?
To understand how we've become so acquainted with these bold birds, we have to go back to the late 1800s. Before then, spotting a gull in London was an event. It was something so rare that it made the papers. In fact, one man was so surprised to see seagulls near London Bridge that he actually wrote a letter to the Evening Standard about it. Imagine being so shocked by a bird's presence that you felt compelled to contact the press. That's how rare they were. The numbers grew slowly in the 1880s and 90s, but a major turning point came during the harsh winters of the 1890s. With coastal conditions becoming icy, large numbers of gulls were driven inland in search of food.
Yo, look at these terrorizers. If I was a little bug or a little something down here, and I saw these two giant dinosaurs walking towards me, terrifying, terrifying.
The black-headed gull was one of the first to make itself at home, and Londoners, seeing them as a fun novelty, began feeding them scraps from their lunchboxes. Big mistake. With an easy food source and safe nesting spots, the colonies grew rapidly. By 1901, gulls were spotted all over Wimbledon, and by the 1940s, they were all over most of London.
Hello, Seagull. What's this?
Wow.
Look at it, look at it!
She must smell like garbage. Oh, she has a sandwich, okay.
By the 1970s, they'd spread to cities like Bristol, Gloucester, and Cardiff. Today, Natural England estimates that around 75% of gulls live permanently in urban areas. They're not just visitors anymore. They live here. Now, a few other key factors really cemented their inland migration. One of the biggest was the 1956 Clean Air Act, and what this did was it banned landfill operators from burning rubbish. Instead, they had to cover it with soil. The result was a delicious buffet for scavenging birds. Landfills became an all-you-can-eat bonanza, allowing gulls to feed their young with ease and rapidly expand their families. At the same time, industrialized fishing practices began depleting their coastal coastal nesting sites, so you have a dwindling natural habitat and an abundant food supply inland.
Makes
the choice
sense.
was honestly obvious.
Yeah.
Cities provided warmth, protection from predators, and plenty of food. And as anyone who's ever tried to eat a sandwich outdoors in Brighton knows, gulls are not one to pass up a free meal. Now, how smart are gulls? The answer is
I think
annoyingly
they're pretty smart.
Gulls
Yeah.
have large brains relative to their body size, making them incredibly adaptable. They've been observed doing all kinds of things, like dropping shellfish onto hard surfaces to crack them open, fishing by using
Smart.
bread as bait, and even memorizing human schedules in order to maximize their own feeding times. For example, in Bristol, researchers found that gulls had learned the school break times to make sure that they were around when the kids would drop food. Even more
Wow.
impressively, they figured out where compost collection points were and returned at specific times to scavenge the best scraps.
How brave are you, Birdie?
Oh,
Ow!
These birds are not just out to survive, they are here to strategize. And let's not forget their physical capabilities. The largest gull species has a wingspan of over 1.5 meters, making them formidable in flight. They also live for
Really?
decades, which ensures they pass down knowledge generation through generation.
Decades?
So
What?
if one gull figures out how to snatch your sandwich without getting caught, you can bet his children will be mastering the same technique.
they live for decades? Hang on. Gull. They drink salt water and fresh water, as they possess exocrine glands located in supraorbital grooves of the skull by which salt can be excreted through the nostrils to assist the kidneys in maintaining electrolyte balance. They drink salt water. Overfishing of target prey such as sardines have caused a shift in diet and behavior. Analysis of the yellow-legged gull of the northwest coast of Spain has revealed a shift from a sardine to crustacean-based diet. The shift was linked to higher fishing efficiency and thus overall fish stock depletion. Wow. Gulls are monogamous, and colonial breeders that display mate fidelity which normally lasts for the life of the pair. Divorce of mated pairs does occur, but it apparently has a social cost that persists for a number of years after the breakup. Wow, they're like us. How long do they live? 10 to 20 years. The record holder is the oldest known herring gull, reaching an impressive age of 49 years. Shh.
But despite their intelligence, in the UK, gulls are not exactly beloved neighbors. They're territorial, they're aggressive, and they're very good at dive bombing humans. Some Brits have tried to protect themselves with things like carrying umbrellas as a shield, deploying hawks and falcons to try and scare them off, sometimes even installing fake flying eagles on wires. And entire city councils have dedicated gull control budgets. But
Wow, it's that
so
bad.
far, they remain mostly undeterred. Social media is also filled with seagull horror stories and some quite funny anecdotes, including things like, I've been mugged by one in Brighton before, and it was frightening and pretty irritating that I lost half a donut. While the gulls in Brighton are tough, the ones in Bournemouth will take on your dog, your best mate, and your family at the same time, and still win without breaking a sweat. Someone else says, I lost the croissant that was supposed to cure my mental breakdown to a Sussex uni seagull. Basically, they're always up for a fight with anything, anyone, anywhere, and they don't really care how bad your day has already been. But here's the surprising truth. Gulls are actually in trouble. Despite their growing urban presence in the UK, overall seagull populations are actually declining. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they are.
They seem like survivors, though. I think they'll bounce back, y'all.
All 7 species that breed in the UK are now on the Birds of Conservation concern list. Numbers have dropped around 60% in the last 25 years.
Wow.
As mentioned, seagulls are
That's a
struggling
lot.
in their natural coastal habitats due to culling, food shortages, and climate change.
Eating that
And
garbage.
yet, because most of us see them in urban environments where they are thriving, we assume they're doing fine. But the reality is much more complicated. Many experts suggest that instead of treating gulls as enemies, we should find ways to support them in returning to coastal areas. This means protecting their seaside nesting sites, ensuring sustainable fishing practices, and reducing food waste in cities so they're less reliant on human garbage. And yes, they can be a total menace, but they're also just trying to survive. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a seagull steal your food?
Yes.
Tell us your best or worst gull encounter in the comments below. As always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kaylin. Y'all be sure to go to Girl Gone London and like and subscribe. I know a seagull has taken my food before. I don't think I've been attacked by one, though. Are seagulls different in America than UK? European birds lack the long gray tongues on the 6th, 7th, and 8th primaries and solid black markings on the 5th and 6th primaries that are shown by American herring gulls. First winter European birds have more checkered underparts, more streaked underparts, and a paler rump and base to the tail. The British gulls have a paler rump. Seagulls have accents just like people do. When I moved to Oregon from Sweden, I noticed how different the seagulls sound here. They definitely have a whole other accent to Swedish gulls. Really? Seagull attack. Seagulls attack and it's hilarious. That's what you get, little kid.
Go out there now.
Oh.
I'll do another one because there you go.
You're gonna rip your shawl off.
I swear I'll do it for you.
What is that? A seal? Wow. Don't feed it the donut. Bread.
Come on, let feet. Best teeth in the world. Best teeth in the world.
What was that? Yeah, that looked like it would hurt. It's gonna get your eye. It's gonna get your eye.
What, it hurt?
That's torture. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay. That was harmless.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's a bad idea. Yeah, these people burying themselves. I don't get that. An eyeball looks like a hard-boiled egg to me. I think that seagull is going to go for the ball. Well, y'all, this was great. I didn't know seagulls were such a thing. Interesting that it comes from their migration to the inland is because of overfishing and garbage. Garbage are cruel. Let's not feed the seagulls anymore. It seems like we're doing them a favor, but we're not. Right? I don't think this is just a British problem. I think this is a worldwide problem. Well, y'all, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me. Stay away from seagulls. Don't feed them. And I'll see you next time. Later.